Inflammation is like a thief in the night. You never know when, how, or where it's going to show up. And unfortunately, it comes to defeat, steal, rob our quality of life in the form of 5 dental diseases. And some of these dental diseases can be acute, meaning that it lasts for a short period of time, or some of them can be chronic, which they last much longer. So starting with dental disease number 1 is periodontitis, which is inflammation surrounding the tooth or the teeth. Dental disease number 2 is pulpitis. Pulpitis is inflammation of the tooth root, meaning that the tooth that's sitting on top of the root, which happens when the innermost tissue of the tooth becomes inflamed. There's that word again, inflamed, inflammation, right? An example of this would be bacteria that enters the tooth through a cavity or a crack in the tooth, right? It sneaks up on you, you don't know. And sometimes this can lead to your dentist wanting to perform a tooth extraction, better known as pull your tooth, or a root canal. And most of you who are listening to this video today, right now, are familiar with having a tooth pulled and or having a root canal. And this procedure that we really want to avoid if at all possible. We really, really want to avoid a root canal. And this is the type of dental procedure to remove the infected or inflamed pulp where it's sitting on the inside or the center of the tooth. And it's a very, very sensitive area, right? So pulp is that soft inner tissue of the center of the tooth, like I just said, that contains our nerves, our blood vessels, and our connective tissue. So you can tell that it's very sensitive, that area. So why do we need a root canal or want to do a root canal? So we want to avoid it at all possible. So which one do you think is better? Having your tooth pulled or extracted, or is it having the root canal? Well, personally, neither. If I can avoid it at all, get out, right? I do not want a root canal if I can avoid it. But the good news about pulpitis is it's reversible if the infection or the bacteria has been or is being properly treated. This helps to reverse the pulpitis. So you want to talk to your dentist to find out more about how can you reverse pulpitis, right? That is dental disease number 2. Moving on to dental disease number 3 is glossitis. What do you think about when you hear the word gloss? Something is shiny, right? So this might be a swollen, red, glossy, shiny tongue. This is inflammation of the tongue. That's what glossitis is. Vitamin B deficiency could be the reason for your glossitis. That is one reason. There could be many reasons. It could be injury to the gum. It could be having an allergy to a food or a medication or something, right? This could lead to inflammation of the tongue. Our bodies are so sensitive. We just never know. So that was number 3. Dental disease number 4 is stomatitis. This is inflammation of the mucous membrane and in the mouth, oral mucosa. And this can look like or be in the form of a canker sore. It could be bacteria forming in your mouth. It could be stress related. It could be poor nutrition. You're not eating properly. You're not getting the proper minerals, the proper nutrients that your body needs. It could be a mouth injury, right? These really typically heal on their own. These canker sores and this bacteria, if you treat it properly, which is great, right? So you want to talk to your dentist about how can you heal this stomatitis. And next on the list is gingivitis. Many of us listening to this video have already heard our dentist mention to us over and over and over, you have a gum disease, gingivitis. We're all too familiar with that, right? And what gingivitis is, as we all know it, is inflammation of the gums. Is that part of the gums that surrounds the upper and the lower part of the teeth, right? This is how the dental thief tried to defeat, steal, and rob me of my dental health and quality of life a few weekends ago. And if you haven't watched that video on how I healed my gums and my tooth over the weekend without a dentist, You can go watch it after this video. And I'll pin the link in the description below, right at the top. All right. So I have labeled this dental issue as the dental thief, the one who tried to rob me of my quality of life. I was in pain. I had jaw swelling, some redness. I had an infection, inflammation throughout my mouth, right? And I didn't allow the dental thief to steal my joy because I fought back using my 100% all natural organic oral secret sauce over that weekend, which is my antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, antiviral, antimicrobial dental toolkit, which brings me to today's video. All right. So, by the way, let me just slow down. By the way, if I haven't already said, welcome to my channel, The Holistic Boss. I'm Coach Renee, your holistic health and wellness strategist. And in today's video, I'll be sharing with you some of the same ingredients that I use to heal my gums and toothache a few weekends ago without seeing a dentist to make this today's 100% all natural organic toothpaste, adding just a tad bit of touch of sweetness with Manuka honey. All right. So if you're interested in knowing my secret sauce, stick around to the end of this video to get the details. So let's get into it. So what are the dental hygienic benefits of adding Manuka honey to this recipe? Well, first, before I get into those details, I want to break it down. I want to break down each ingredient and its benefits before starting with the Manuka honey. You're probably wondering, Manuka honey? Yeah, Manuka honey and its benefits. Wow. All right. So follow along as I share with you. So let's jump into it. So we're going to start off with our first ingredient, and that's going to be extra virgin olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil, and I have about 2 tablespoons. And depending on how much toothpaste you want to make is how you add additional ingredients, right? You can use and just know before I get started, everything is, you can use an alternative, right? Everything you can use. If you don't use or like olive oil, you can use coconut oil. But for this recipe that I made and that I'm sharing with you, I use extra virgin olive oil. Why? Extra virgin, there's a purpose behind everything that I do, everything that I use. And extra virgin olive oil is an anti-inflammatory, right? It's antibacterial. It has these anti-inflammatory and antibacterial properties due to the polyphenols that's found inside of olive oil. So I want to talk about olive oil for oil pulling as well, but later in this video. So I'm using 2 to 3 tablespoonfuls of olive oil for this video right now. All right. So I'm going to pour that, and you want to have all of these ingredients that I'm using today are all natural, 100% organic. All right. And so when you get your container, you want to make sure you're using a glass container, right? And we will change that over into something once I finish making this recipe. So right now I'm using a small glass bowl. And if you're going to make a big batch, then of course you're going to use a bigger bowl. But right now I'm making a small batch. All right. So I'm going to pour all of this olive oil into this small bowl. This is my base oil, right? And so as we go making this 100% all natural, antiviral, antibacterial, antimicrobial toothpaste, we can add additional ingredients as we go through this process. But right now, understand that this is to show you how I make my toothpaste. All right. That is the first ingredient. The next ingredient is Manuka honey. Manuka honey has a plethora of health healing benefits. If you don't know about Manuka honey, I invite you to go and do your research on Manuka honey, because it is an amazing ingredient that you can add to your plethora of your wellness toolkit, right? I like to call it my wellness toolkit. All right, so Manuka honey. Not all honeys are created equal. You want to make sure your honey is organic. Manuka honey is organic, and this Manuka honey that I have is a product of New Zealand, and it is, they have different strains, different strengths. So if you don't know or understand enough about Manuka honey, I recommend you to go do your research so you can understand the health healing benefits behind it. All right. So this Manuka honey can inhibit the growth of bacteria, oral bacteria. We're talking about oral health, oral hygiene, right? So it can inhibit the growth of oral bacteria due to its antibacterial and antimicrobial properties, right? So I'm going to add a little bit of this, and I'm going to add also additional ingredients that are antiviral, antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, which also can help to fight off harmful bacteria like gum inflammation, gum disease, tooth decay, and plaque buildup. We get plaque built up on our teeth from food. The food seeps up under our gums, and then if we don't brush or floss properly, then it's built up, right? So Manuka honey, like I said, has so many amazing benefits, and it may also help to improve your gum and your overall mouth health. So please consult your dentist before trying this, right? So I'm going to use a fourth of a teaspoon of this Manuka honey, and I'm going to use my little spoon here. My wooden spoon. And this is about, like I said, about a fourth, right? So we don't want to make a mess because it could be sticky. So I'm going to add it now to my extra virgin olive oil. It's a little sticky, so you have to sometimes help it, but I am going to just help it with my other tool. Okay, now I have that in there. And so next is the foundation that's going to make this a paste. And this is aluminum-free baking soda. When you choose your baking soda, you want to make sure it's aluminum-free. Baking soda, what are the health healing benefits of baking soda? It neutralizes the acid buildup in your mouth. It cleans and whitens your teeth. We used baking soda as kids, brushing our teeth. I'm sure you did. Did you? I did. We did. As kids, we used baking soda when we brushed our teeth. So it cleans and whitens the teeth, and it helps to heal the gums, believe it or not. That gingivitis, really? How many of you brushed your teeth with baking soda as kids? Me too. I did too, right? So in here is 2 to 3 teaspoons of aluminum-free baking soda. So I'm going to add that now to my extra virgin olive oil and to my Manuka honey, right? So I'm going to put that in here. And sometimes we don't need that much baking soda because we don't want it to taste like baking soda. We don't want the toothpaste to taste like baking soda, which is why we add all of these beautiful, healthful, healthy, good ingredients, right? All right. So let's just, I'm just going to pour some in here. And I'm just going to go light on this, but this is 2 to 3. So you might only need 2 tablespoonfuls, depending on how much you're making, right? So you always want to be cognizant of that fact. Always, always, always. And we can add more as we go. So I'm going to start off with just probably, this is about a tablespoon and a half that I have in here in this bowl. All right. The next healthy ingredient that I'm going to use is vitamin E oil. This is 100% vitamin E oil. What is vitamin E oil? How does it help? It's an antioxidant. It has antioxidant properties inside of this little bottle that helps to heal and reduce the inflammation of our gums. Gingivitis, right? This, we just have to understand and know what to use for our bodies to get that healing, that natural healing started, right? So vitamin E is good for a lot of things. Do your research and find out how much vitamin E can help us as a human being, right? You don't want to overdo it, of course, with none of this stuff. You always just want to use the amount that you need, not overdo it, right? So I'm going to use about 2 to 3 drops because this is going to also, I like to use the vitamin E just to give my gums some moisture, you know, my mouth, just kind of moisturize it. And it's, you know, like I said, it's a good, vitamin E is good for our skin. It's good for our bodies. It's good for many things. And so I'm going to add 2 to 3 drops. Probably add 3 drops. I'm going to add 3 drops. So comes out very, very slow. So there's 1. The drop is long. 2. And 3. All right, there we go. That's 3 drops of the vitamin E oil. And once again, you always want to make sure when you are using these type of oils that it is 100% natural, organic. It is free of chemicals and toxins and all the things that we do not want in our body, right? So that's vitamin E oil. All right, the next ingredient, which is one of the ones that really, really helped and saved me from catastrophe when it comes to my pain and my bacteria. This is tea tree oil. Again, this is organic tea tree oil. Tea tree oil is super, super potent. And this has bacterial and antimicrobial properties inside, which helps fight, once again, bacteria and microorganisms such as the bacteria, the viruses, the parasites, and even mold. Who knew, right? So because this is so potent, even when you smell it, it's very potent, strong, right? So you don't want to use a whole lot of this tea tree oil. 1 to 2 drops. I'm going to use 2 drops because I'm used to using tea tree oil. But I would recommend you start off with 1 drop. When you are starting using something for the first time, you always want to start with the bare minimum until you see how your body responds to whatever that thing is that you're using, that ingredient, right? Because you just never know. You don't want to start off whole. So I'm going to use 2 drops in this recipe, right? So 1, 2. There we go. All right. 1 to 2 drops of tea tree oil. Next, I am going to use one of my favorites, oil of oregano. Oil of oregano and tea tree oil is what saved my dental emergency 2-3 weekends ago. This is what healed my infection. This is how I got rid of the bacteria that was trying to take over my body. Between tea tree oil and oil of oregano. Oil of oregano is optional. You do not have to put this in your toothpaste. Tea tree oil is enough, right? Oil of oregano, you do not have to use it in your toothpaste. I'm going to use it because that's what I want to do, right? I'm just sharing with you how I made my organic, 100% natural toothpaste. And now here we are today, still healed, right? And we have to understand how our body functions, how our body works. So oil of oregano is an herb. It's a natural antibiotic. I take this with me everywhere I go, wherever I travel. And it has anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, antibacterial, antifungal properties inside of this, right? This is totally optional, like I said, for adding this to your toothpaste recipe. But I added it to mine. And so right now, I'm going to add only 1 drop, just 1 drop. Because I want that extra. I like to have extra, just in case. Fight the bacteria, right? So it's like I'm doing 2 things in one. I'm fighting the bacteria in my mouth, fighting the bacteria that could be in the body. So I just take extra steps. I sometimes overdo it. All right. So a disclaimer here. Always, always, always check in with your dentist before trying this dental hack hygiene toothpaste recipe. Right? I'm simply sharing this with you, this recipe with you to help you understand your options in case you are looking for natural and holistic alternatives to fight off inflammation in your mouth so that you can live your best life. And I gave you 5 dental diseases that you might be fighting against, right? It's 5 dental diseases that you could be fighting against and don't even know it. Periodontal disease, periodontitis, number 1, pulpitis, number 2, glossitis, number 3, stomatitis, number 4, gingivitis, number 5. Those are the 5 dental diseases that you could be fighting against and don't even know it, right? So now we have all of our ingredients in here, and it does not look like much of anything, right? When you look at that, it doesn't look like much of anything. So I'm going to stir it all together, and it looks like I might need to add some more olive oil because I do not, well, maybe not. Let's see. Maybe not. Because it looks pasty to me. It looks pasty enough. See that paste? It's like toothpaste. It looks yummy. And the rule of thumb is if you can eat, if you can't eat whatever it is that you make for your body, then you might not want to put it on your body, right? That's kind of like the rule of thumb in the holistic health and wellness space, right? So this is a toothpaste, and it's not much, as you can see. So we need to add much more, probably double, triple the dose, so we can have more, and we don't have to make it too often, right? You don't want to make it every single day. You want to have it at least, I know out in the world, our toothpaste lasts, a month, maybe? Depends on who's using it, how much you're using. But this will last me maybe a couple of days, so I have to make more. I like making fresh stuff anyway. All right, so that's the toothpaste. Now, when you want to transfer it, you want to transfer it over into something of the jar, like a jar. You want to transfer it over into a jar, a small glass jar. You can use something small like this when you travel. You can use something like this when you travel. This is pretty big, so you probably would have to check this in to your suitcase. However, you need to pack it very carefully if you're going to make a jar this big, depending on how long you're going to be gone, how much you travel. And so for me right now, because this is so small, I'll end up making more. I'm going to transfer it over to this. And this is just for the sake of this video. So I'll probably end up making more after this video because it's just not enough. It's not going to last me, right? So Yeah, let's just transfer it over into this small glass container. And it's actually perfect, really. This looks so good. I want to taste it. But you can also add something like peppermint oil, mint oil, if you want just that extra freshness. But I have tea tree oil, so that's enough freshness for me, right? And when you use, anytime you use an oil like a peppermint or a mint, you want to make sure that there is a carrier oil used along with it. Otherwise, you're going to burn your mouth. You're going to burn your tongue. You don't want to do that, right? You have to be super careful when you're using these oils, these essential oils. So this is what the toothpaste look, that the 100% all natural organic toothpaste to help fight bacteria in the mouth and the gums. And I just once again gave you all the bacteria, all the dental diseases that might be lurking around in your mouth. So you want to do that. So now I'll put my top on it and I'm good to go. I can carry this in my purse. I can carry it, you know, I need to make more if I'm going to fly around with it. But so smells good. Smells so good, right? We got all this goodness in there. So now what I want to do is I want to share with you, I want to talk a little bit about, real quick, about some extra things that you can do for your dental hygiene, right? You never can do too much, right? And we all know about flossing. We all know about flossing, right? So our dentists have shared with us over the years, floss, floss, floss. What do you floss with? There's many things that you floss with, right? Many different things that you can floss with. I have a couple of things that I'm going to share with you. You know, you got the regular dental floss, the regular dental floss. You pick your kind, the one that's easy on your gums, because you can actually puncture your gums if you're using the wrong instrument, which is why you need to understand which floss is better. Flossing, could be daunting to some people. Like they don't want to floss and stick anything in between their teeth and their gums because it could be sensitive for one. It could start bleeding if you're not doing it properly. So this is a dental floss. It's a natural mint flavor. It has beeswax coating. And this video is not sponsored, so I'm not advertising or recommending any type or brand here, right? I'm just simply showing you for the purposes of understanding what you need to have a better hygienic dental experience, right? And then I have what is one of the latest things, that we hold and it feels good to our hands, and we put it between our teeth and, we just floss in between those teeth. Then this one, to me, could be the most coarse one. Like, you put this between your teeth. You might puncture your gum if you're not careful because it's pretty stiff. I mean, it's just, I don't know what to say. I don't know. But for some, you might like it. Some of you don't. So you have to figure out what's going to work for you, right? I don't even know what word to say for this one, but it's sharp. That's what I want to say. This is pretty sharp. All right. So you have 3 different dental options or floss options. Then you have a tongue scraper, right? You have a tongue scraper. You have plastic tongue scrapers. You have aluminum tongue scrapers. Sometimes you might have to give your tongue an extra scrape. The toothbrush that you're using may not do the trick. So you have to get a tongue scraper to help get the bacteria off of your tongue, right? So that is that part. And then you always want to use a soft bristle toothbrush. You never want to use a hard bristle toothbrush. And I used to use a medium because I thought I needed the hardest thing to get my teeth clean. Wrong. So I did that for how many years when I didn't know any better? Long time, right? So this could be some of the problems that we are facing today, why we have so many dental problems. But you want to use a soft bristle toothbrush, or you want to use the water pick, right? You got the water pick, you got the electric toothbrush. Those are probably much better and easier on the gums and on the teeth, all right? So that is for that. Now I want to talk about oil pulling for a moment. Oil pulling is a form of, it's almost like gargling with, what is it we used to gargle with? I don't even use that stuff, but I make my own gargle. I make my own gargle water, gargle stuff. So oil pulling is like you would put some olive oil or coconut oil, say like in a small glass like this, or a larger glass, and you Swiss it around your mouth for about, say, 5 to 20 minutes. No, I'm sorry, 10 to 20 minutes, right? And so what's happening as you are Swissing this oil, and you don't put no water in there, you just use maybe a tablespoon of, or take a tablespoon of coconut oil or olive oil. Don't swallow it, but put it in your mouth, Swiss it around for about 15 to 20 minutes. 20 minutes is a long time. But what you're doing is you're gathering all the bacteria that from the food in your mouth that's now housed in your mouth, and you're trying to remove it from the corners of your teeth, from your gums. You want to Swiss it, and then don't spit it out in your sinks because it might clog up your sink. So you want to have some kind of container that you can spit this out in, but you don't want to put in your sink because you're probably going to clog up your sink. If you have a sink that's tough, go for it. But that is another way to keep the bacteria at bay, keep the bacteria out, gone, right? Coconut oil has antibacterial, antimicrobial properties in it as well, which is why it's such a popular oil that's out there on the market. Olive oil, I like it because it's easier for me, and it's just smoother. I just like it. We have our likes. So pick what oils you like. All right. So, all right, beautiful. Well, that is the video, my video for you today. I hope that you have learned something from what I've shared with you, and also from the recipe that I've shared with you. And if you have learned something today, go ahead and share, like, and share, and subscribe to my channel so you will know when I come out with more videos like this. But my job here as a holistic health and wellness strategist is to teach you holistic and natural ways to heal your mind, your body, and your soul. And sometimes things on the market don't work for us anymore, right? And I'm going to show you. Sometimes things just don't work. Didn't work for me. This toothpaste, it didn't work either. This, it didn't work, right? So sometimes not bashing nobody's brand. It has nothing to do with the brand. It has everything to do with what might be inside of that particular toothpaste. It could be the ingredient. It could be one ingredient or two ingredients that's working against our bodies, and we have no idea that's what it is, which is why I really, really advocate for you to pay attention, take back control of your health and your well-being, and pay attention to what it is that you're consuming on a daily basis that could be adding to the problem as opposed to healing the problem, right? So years and years, you go through toothpaste, deodorant, and all these things, that either is working against us, but not for us. And so what does it cost for us to pay attention? We just have to understand and know. And that's my job, is to help you understand and know what possibly could be causing your problem, like it did for me last couple of weekends ago, right? It just snuck up on me. I had no idea. Over the weekend, right? The weekend is when you want to relax, have a good time, go out with your friends, your family, and all of a sudden you find yourself in pain, a swollen jaw, an infection. You can't eat. You can't enjoy. Your quality of life is gone for a little bit until you get back on track, right? All right, beautiful. That's the video that I have for you today. Once again, I hope everything that I share with you was helpful. And I pray that you will heal naturally wherever you find yourself today. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe at The Holistic Boss. Until next time, this is Coach Renee, your holistic health and wellness strategist. And remember to stay whole, healthy, and happy. Take care. Bye-bye. And one more thing, if you are looking to eat an anti-inflammatory diet, don't forget to check out my anti-inflammatory recipe guide. There are delicious recipes within that guide that's going to help set you on track, help get you on track to eating healthier, feeling great, more energy, sleeping better at night, right? Let's move this inflammation out of our body. Stop eating these inflammatory foods and start eating anti-inflammatory foods. That's going to help set you on track. All right? All right, beautiful. Take care. I forgot that. And check out the description below. There's great information for you. So, all right. Take care. Bye.